Hey, Greg guys here. How you going? We're progressing on Norma, amongst other things. Yeah, so what we've done is I've sanded back the areas that we don't sandblast. So everything that you see here, where it's shiny metal, that's the areas we don't sandblast. So that's to eliminate any chance at all of warpage. So they blast right along the bottom, round across there, all where it's strong across there. And I always get these blasted down in here, these gaps. That's most important. Obviously this is all going to be cut out, so that was all rotten. But what we have here is some really clean metal. That's because I've been sanding it. And again, it's at the front here. So what at some stage someone has done is the paint must have been getting thin on the top, and they painted the roof in like a house paint, and so you can see the really thick brush marks on it. And I guess it's going to slow the rust down a bit in one way. In the other way, it's, you know, water-based house paint doesn't do much to sort of stop the rust as such. So this is ground down, sanded down smooth, and you still see some of these dark areas here. Even worse, I'll just watch my step there. Even worse was the back. It's oh, I can just get in here, can't I? Oh. So yeah, this is same area. I think I used about 8 sanding discs to get this back to clean metal. That sort of gives you an idea. So this is it's all clean now, but these areas here is where the rust had actually starting to eat into the metal. You can see how it's looking very ordinary there. So you can't sort of sand that anymore. So what we do is to get a wire wheel, which actually gets into the deeper parts, and then we put an acid rust treatment on there and let that, it basically just kills the rust for good. It just stops it completely. So once we've done that, so we rust treat the whole area basically, and you clean it off, and that kills any rust that's, you know, areas like that, little spots. Most of it's come up pretty clean, but areas like that, you want to stop it for good. Like if I was just to epoxy this here now, you know, it would last a long time. The PR250 is a great epoxy, anti-corrosive, but you're better off with an extra step. So yeah, we kill that rust, then epoxy it. I make lots of noise by slapping the hand. So these areas here that I had to sand, I haven't done a final sand with the flappy wheel there, but this is my weapon of choice. So that's 115mm grinder, 125 rather, but these are the sanding discs. Like I've got a couple of different brands going. That is rough, 36, but after hitting that house paint, she just bloody smoothed right out. So yeah, what's the story? So when you get a sanding, if you want to know how to do this, save yourself some money and strip your own car down, get a 115mm, which is roughly 4.5 inch backing pad to go on the grinder. Don't muck around with that 4-inch stuff. A lot of people go buy the 4-inch grinders, but it's just too small, too slow. So go the 5-inch grinder, 4.5 inch backing pad, and then a 5-inch 125mm. See how the sandpaper is bigger than the disc itself, and that sort of stops it from having too harsh an edge. The sandpaper will actually fold in a little bit and just So just so it doesn't gouge your metalwork. You don't want to be gouging anything. So, so we run the 36 to get the bulk of the paint off. You shouldn't see sparks flying, even though you're getting down to really close to the metal. You shouldn't be showering sparks over. You shouldn't be removing the metal as such. You're just trying to remove the paint. So then we switch over, and oh, these are cheap shit ones. They didn't really last at all, but they were on special, so I just got a 4-pack because I was out. But yeah, these are more like a grinding disc internally, and then there's got flap. It's called a flap wheel, so it's like the centrifugal force from the spinning sort of opens that up a bit so they don't get clogged as much. But for outright speed, I've heard of people that take bloody days to strip a car down that shouldn't. You get the damn 36s or the 40s in these, you know, fiber discs with the backing pad, and just rip most of it off. And then when you've got most of it ripped off like that, then get this 40 grit or 60 grit even of the flap wheel to smooth it over. So you'll be able to see the difference there. Looks pretty, like that's the factory primer. It's like a brownie color. I've noticed that over the years, that if you get back to that, it's pretty solid. And this here had been done with the 40 grit. I sort of did it in the opposite direction, up and down with it. You can probably see the lines. But that is a super good base now for the epoxy. Oh, how good's Technico? So yeah, I've been listening to Techno, the earplugs in while grinding away, and that's the way to do it. It's not a job you want to do in the quiet and just, no, you need to have music. So I had this with these over the top, dust masks, eye protection, all the usual stuff, and just absorb the rave. I just like have a rave going in my head. It's great. So it just helps the work go quicker. So if you want to tackle that, just putting your earmuffs on and just only hear the sound of the grinder through your earmuffs and just your own thoughts. No. You need a bit of escapism when doing a job like this. You can see a couple of spots there. That looks like the start of a bit of a rust. So we're gonna acid wash all that. When I say acid wash, yeah, this is a pretty good product. Deoxit metal conditioner. So yeah, it's funny, like the best thing to treat the metal with is this, and it's corrosive to metal. So that gives you an idea of, like, it really etches in. But the point is that you can brush this on over a large area even. And then before it dries, you have to wipe it off with a damp rag. That's what's recommended, that's what I do. So you got to remove the product, and this product will stick into all the minute rust particles and the not so minute, the bigger ones, and kill that rust. And that's when you wipe over with a cloth. You don't want to be painting straight over that stuff when it's dry. You want to remove it first, and it will just kill the rust that it needs. What have I got that in for? So yeah, what is it? What's that tune before? Strings Adagio? Hang on, wait a minute. Just got some random random mix here. What was that one? Adagio for strings. Tiesto. Ah, the master. Tiesto may or may not be Dutch. I'm pretty sure he is. All the great bloody ravers were Dutch. So yeah, like, bring it on. Just put a bit of chili in the background. Yeah, so that's where we're up to with Norma. I'm going to get some epoxy on all those bare metal areas after the rust treatment, and then it's happy days, because it's time to tackle tackle that and tackle the rotten gutters along there. So what do we got here? So we've got a, you know, just... Okay, so that's the other side. Anyway, you know what I mean? So the rest of the dog leg was absolutely perfect. So, wham bam, thank you ma'am, that's all going to be cut out because it's just too much gone from the inner, but this is already, it's already there and assembled, so you just, you know, cut it across there or whatever, wherever you need to get it all welded in. But that's Andrew's specialty, so I don't have to worry about that. So we've got the bottom step for each side, and we've got these windscreen repair pieces here. We decided not to remove this whole thing because it's bloody perfect right along there except for this bit, so we're going to hand form a rounded piece to fit in there to join up with the windscreen repair pieces that we bought. And we've got lengths of gutter, brand new gutters. Cut this off and we're going to like repair this, repair that, and weld. I've got a corner gutter piece because that would be more difficult because we've got straight pieces as well. So, and this here, it's just going to have to be cut off and repaired. So, but that's the extent of it. This is a pretty good car. Yeah, so I think the owner will be happy that it's getting done properly. Bare metal and rust treating and epoxy and having epoxy underneath your filler and then getting it all smooth is like putting a paint on. When people say, oh, how much for a paint job? Like, it's the biggest open-ended question in the world. A paint job the actual painting part of a paint job only takes a few days. Everything else before that can take weeks or months or whatever. So it's just, you know, how much for a paint job is a bit of a, it's not a silly question, but it's just, we need more detail to answer that sort of thing. Oh, so it's the end of the day. It's probably past 6 o'clock. But it's been a good, positive, hardcore day. You know, physical. Some days you just feel like you've been busy. Well, you have been busy, but there's not a lot to show for it. But days like today, I got a heap of panels done on Kiak outside there. Painted that table. They needed a table at Linda's work, and so that's all ready to go. And yeah, so this progressing because the welding on Chili's finished now. Then Andrew can start the welding on this. The production line of 2 people is progressing, and that's fantastic. What more can you ask for? So I think this video has gone on long enough. By the time I put some footage of the sanding in, I might do some fancy John Law's voiceover stuff and that. Anyways, I'll see you when I see ya.